Yeah, this is your chairman, Rajesh Rokde, All India Gem and Jewelry Domestic Council. Welcome to today's माइंड स्पीक, जहां हम लोग इसे कहते हैं कि लर्न एवरीवन, क्योंकि माइंड स्पीक के माध्यम से आपको सबको पता होगा कि हम लोग ने काफी बार हमारे लॉस की पूरी जानकारी है कोविड में स्पेशली इसे एक्सचेंज, जो हमारे पास थॉट रहते थे वो एक्सचेंज किए थे। और आज जिस तरीके से हमारी इंडस्ट्री में नए नए बदलाव आ रहे हैं, वो बदलाव के बारे में जानकारी देना ये हमारी जिम्मेदारी है। और ऑल इंडिया जेम एंड ज्वेलरी डोमेस्टिक काउंसिल एज ए एपेक्स बॉडी अपनी जिम्मेदारी पूरी करती है। अभी हाल ही में जीएसटी को लेके कुछ इश्यूज है, तो दो सब्जेक्ट को लेके हमने आज की जूम बुलाई है। आपको पता होगा कि जीएसटी में स्पेशली दो चीजों को लेके कंफ्यूजन है। एक तो पहली घड़ियों को लेके, और बाद में और भी कुछ एसेसरीज है उसकी जानकारी, और साथ में 10 लाख के ऊपर की अगर कोई ज्वेलरी के अलावा कैसे कुछ चीजें अगर कैरी कर रहे हैं तो क्या क्या हमें सावधानी बरतनी होती है। तो ये सब चीजें आज इस जूम के माध्यम से आप सबको बताई जाएगी। और एज अ लीगल कन्वीनर अविनाश गुप्ता जी इज डूइंग वंडरफुल। तो आई रिक्वेस्ट अविनाश भाई नाउ कि आप इसकी थोड़ी सी जानकारी दें, जिससे कि हम लोग का जो सेशन है मेनली भाविन मेहता जी इज एक्सपर्ट, he will explain all about this all what we have today talking. Yes, Avinash bhai.
Thank you, Chairman sir. Good afternoon, everyone. We have received some complaints from some of our members from the trade that they are facing issues on watches and all. So we wanted to create a clarity session for all the jewelers so that it becomes much easier. And we have understood that there are few things which were there, which were happening with few of our members during the GST raids and all. So we wanted to clarify on that also. And recently, today only, there is a notification which has come on TCS. Earlier, the government has issued a notification that 1% TCS should be collected on all luxury items which are sold to a consumer over and above 10 lakhs. Fortunately, jewelry is not included in it. They have asked for antiques and some pieces of sculpture. So we are taking a clarification from the department whether idols what we sell fall under sculptures or not. Once we get the clarification, we will get back to you on that also. We have been planning to set up an legal help cell, and because of legal help cell, every member can get some support at the initial level from GJC. For that, we are setting up a legal cell, and we will be coming out with all the details, what all we will be providing under the legal cell in a few days. So just wanted to update you on that also. This is the briefing. Our CA Bhavin Mehta will update you on all the aspects of what this Zoom meeting is called for under the Mindspeak. And over to Nitin Bhai for his opening remarks, and then we will straight away go after the opening remarks to Bhavin Bhai for the this thing. Nitin Bhai, over to you.
Thank you, Rajesh and Avinash ji. Being a very technical subject and very specific, and when Bhavin Bhai is there, I think we should not speak much. We'll straightway hand over this forum to the Bhavin Bhai, and then in the question answer session, whatever knowledge we are having, we will interact in the practical problem which jewelers maybe face. So I think we should hand over to Bhavin Bhai. Nothing to say much.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you very much to the entire team of GJC. Friends, in today's webinar, what we really intend to do is we have some interesting case laws which has come up in GST, whether a jewelry can be seized by GST officer or an income tax officer, whether the cash, if it is found in your premise, whether that can be seized by an income tax officer or a GST officer. ये जो questions है, many people are having these issues. I know that many people might be aware of this also, but at least if you are aware और आपके यहाँ पे कोई raid या कोई investigation, if there is an investigation or raid at your end, at least if you are aware of the basic provisions, then you can at least counter the department. So we have some very interesting case laws which are in favor of the jewelers. So we will have a look at those case laws as well. After that, we will go to the very interesting topic, which is as regards the watches. I think since the last 1.5 to 2, 3 months, I have been receiving lot of calls, lot of WhatsApp messages as well as emails saying that there is especially people in the south and even in some location in Maharashtra where they have faced GST audits and all. So there are a lot of inquiries, or maybe there are a lot of issues which the GST officer or the department has come out with, saying that the rate of GST applied by the jeweler on watches as well as the watch strap is incorrect. So we'll have a look at it, that what should be the right rate of GST on the watches as well as the watch straps or the watch bands or the watch bracelets, as is being used by many people in the trade. We will have a interesting lookout. We'll go to the classification. We'll have taken some of the extracts from the World Customs Organization, how that HSN is being done, the general rules of interpretation, and some of the case laws which really help us. And we will take a question answer session there. I hope my screen is visible to everyone, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Bhavin, it is visible. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, let's go ahead. The first thing is, friends, jewelry seizure under the Income Tax Act. I think this many of the jewelers who have joined in this webinar, they might be aware that what are the provisions under the Income Tax Act. But just to give a comparative analysis, I would like to go again back into it. Legal protection for business inventory, Proviso 132(1)(3) of the Income Tax Act. Proviso 132(1)(3) of the Income Tax Act explicitly protects the stock in trade from seizure during income tax raid. इसका मतलब ये होता है कि अगर कोई इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट से आपके यहाँ पे रेड हो जाती है और वहां पे मान लो आपके यहाँ पे कुछ ज्वेलरी या ये जो अनअकाउंटेड पकड़ा जाता है, देन द रूल इज सेइंग दैट दे कैन नॉट सीज इट. सीजर के लिए अलाउड नहीं है बिकॉज ज्वेलरी फॉर्म्स ए पार्ट ऑफ स्टॉक इन ट्रेड. We have some judicial support over here. The famous High Court case of Pushpa Rajan, Orissa High Court case in Pushpa Rajan Sahu case, as well as the Punjab and Haryana High Court case in Dinano Luxurious Jewelers, which says that it is a business inventory and it's protected from seizure provisions under the income tax. Then what can the authorities do? अगर ऐसा पकड़ा जाता है, if they found some unaccounted jewelry, the income tax authorities can only prepare an inventory of the jewelry and then use the valuation in their assessment. They cannot physically remove or seize the stock in trade. वो लोग एक इन्वेंट्री बना सकते हैं, एक लिस्टिंग बना सकते हैं कि इतना सारा ज्वेलरी अनअकाउंटेड पाया गया था, लेकिन आपके बिजनेस प्रीमाइस से दे कैन नॉट रिमूव इट और दे कैन नॉट सीज द स्टॉक इन ट्रेड. So this, I think many of the people might be aware also. Let us go to the next part. Cash seizure under income tax. Before that, we saw jewelry, there's the stock in trade. Now we are coming to the cash. So we take a situation where there is an income tax raid or an income tax investigation in the retail showroom or maybe a wholesaler or a manufacturer, and there's a lot of unaccounted cash which is being found in the premises. What should be the scenario or उसमें क्या होगा? Let us see the legal basis. Cash is first of all not treated as stock in trade unless and until you are dealing in the business of money lending. So I'm repeating, cash is not treated as stock in trade unless and until the jeweler is into the business of money lending. And hence, that is the reason if there is an unaccounted stock which is being found, unaccounted cash which is being found in the premises of a jeweler, that can be seized. If the cash found during the search is unexplained or unaccounted, it can be seized under Section 132(1)(3) of the Income Tax Act as potential undisclosed income. So the burden of proof is always on the jeweler. The onus is on the
अमित
jeweler
भाई,
that he
थोड़ा
has to.
आपका वॉइस थोड़ा सा ऊपर कीजिए ना प्लीज.
Okay. So the onus is always on the jeweler to prove the source of tax paid and the status of cash. If he cannot prove, then yes, the cash which is being found, it could be seized. So till now, what we saw is income tax officer, he cannot seize the jewelry or the stock in trade, but yes, he can seize the unaccounted cash which is lying in the premises of a jeweler. On the same lines, now let us see the provisions which are applicable under the GST law. तक हम लोगों ने इनकम टैक्स के प्रावधान देख लिए. Now let us move that what the GST Act says. Now, as per the legal provisions, we have Section 67 of the CGST Act, which says that officers are empowered to seize the goods if they believe that tax evasion has occurred. इनकम टैक्स में इसको स्टॉक इन ट्रेड माना जाता था, जीएसटी में इसको गुड्स माना जाता है, and that can be seized. So it is exactly the opposite. Income tax officer cannot seize the jewelry, but the GST officer, if he finds any jewelry which is unaccounted, then he will consider this as goods and then can be seized. वी हैव लॉट ऑफ जुडिशियल कन्फर्मेशंस, इसमें बहुत सारे हाई कोर्ट के रूलिंग्स भी है. मैंने जानबूझ के कोई स्पेसिफिक ज्वेलर का रूलिंग यहाँ पे नहीं डाला है. देयर आर मेनी केस लॉज व्हिच सेज दैट if the jewelry is found unaccounted, under the GST provision, seizure can happen. Now let us go to the same way. Let us go to cash. If the cash is found unaccounted and if there is a raid or an investigation by the GST officer, can the GST officer seize the cash? That is again a question. So as per the legal definition, cash is not considered as goods. And just because the cash is not considered as goods, GST authorities cannot seize the cash. पूरा GST Act जो अपना है, that is Goods and Service Tax Act है. So all this will revolve around goods and services. If a particular product is not goods, then the seizure cannot be done by the GST department. So cash को अगर goods नहीं मानते हैं, because cash is not defined as goods, and so the GST authorities cannot seize cash. The Supreme Court ruling in case of State Tax Officer ORS versus Babu Jones and ANR, which says that the GST officer cannot seize the cash. So we have the Supreme Court ruling over here, which says that GST officer cannot seize the cash. GST officer must document, उसको document कर सकते हैं, and he can report the same to the income tax department. लेकिन आपके premises से वो निकाल नहीं सकता, he cannot take away or he can seize the cash. There is a very interesting case law of Kerala High Court in Center C EdTech Private Limited versus State of GST Department. We'll look at that case law, how it is applicable. Now, in this case law, we'll try to understand कि इसका background क्या होता है case का, so that will make you understand in a more better way. जो ये सेंटर एडटेक होता है वहां पे उनके यहाँ पे देयर इज ए इन्वेस्टिगेशन और रेड बाय द डिपार्टमेंट, जीएसटी डिपार्टमेंट, एंड द जीएसटी डिपार्टमेंट को वहां पे अनअकाउंटेड कैश मिलता है 29 lakhs और 10,58,000 का. जीएसटी डिपार्टमेंट वो क्या करता है, ही सीजिंग दैट कैश और उनके कस्टडी में रख लेता है द डिस्ट्रिक्ट ट्रेजरी. सो द जीएसटी ऑफिसर ही इज सीजिंग द कैश ऑफ 29 lakhs प्लस 10 lakhs और वो डिस्ट्रिक्ट ट्रेजरी के कस्टडी में वो कैश जमा करवा देता है. Someone was very intelligent and they told to the GST officers, sir, you cannot seize the cash because cash is not goods. So how can you do that? So having realized that, what the GST officer did is, उन्होंने वो cash income tax officer को inform कर दिया and they transferred that cash to the income tax department. The seized cash was handed over to the income tax department. Legal challenge. Can the GST officer do this? The appellants went to the High Court and they said the challenge that this is under beyond the powers of the GST officer and they cannot do this because cash is not goods or cash is not stock in trade. Now the question before the High Court was whether the GST department has the authority to seize cash found in the taxpayer's premises and whether the transfer to the income tax department validates the initial seizure. उसका मतलब ये है कि अगर मैंने कैश सीज किया और बाद में मैंने इनकम टैक्स को हैंड ओवर कर दिया तो वो अलाउड है. Let us see the constitutional provisions. We have Article 265, which was being challenged, and Article 300A. In Article 300A, वो लोग बता रहे हैं कि no person shall be deprived of any property except by the due process of law. मैं आपके यहाँ से कोई भी प्रॉपर्टी या आपका कोई भी चीज ले नहीं सकता हूँ without the process of law. We have the statutory provisions under Section 74. जिसमें proceedings relation to fraud, suppression और misstatement में notices दिए जा सकती है. And we have 132A of the Income Tax Act, which is nothing but the requisition of the seized cash by the Income Tax Department. Let us see what really the court gave the judgment और क्या हुआ. The court clearly said the GST authorities have no power to seize the cash unless it is a part of the stock in trade. The division bench, it is not a single bench, but the division bench of the Kerala High Court said that for acting contrary to the Supreme Court order, this is not allowed and we really criticize the act which you have done. सबसे पहले उन्होंने बताया कि ये पावर्स ही नहीं है, आप ये सीज नहीं कर सकते हो। और सुप्रीम कोर्ट का ऑर्डर होने के बाद भी अगर केरला जीएसटी डिपार्टमेंट ने ये किया है, तो उसकी उन्होंने क्रिटिसिज्म किया कि दिस इज नॉट अलाउड। Invalid transfer to the income tax department. Now, this is very important. Please understand, friends. Now, the GST department was very smart. उसने क्या किया कि I cannot keep the cash with myself. Why don't I inform the income tax department and transfer the cash to him? So, Kerala High Court, they categorically says that just because the initial seizure was illegal, जो पहला मैंने सीज किया वही इलीगल है, the subsequent transfer to the income tax department वो भी illegal है या it is not correct. So this was a very good judgment where the department says that कि कभी कभी ऐसे होता है, the GST department says that if you don't cooperate with me, I will give your information to the income tax department or I will give your information to the ED or something of that sort. This scenario, they try to threaten us or maybe they try to exert some money from us or something of that way. So in this, the same thing had happened. What they did is that informed the income tax department and the cash was transferred from the district treasury to the income tax department. Constitutional protection, the court emphasized that constitutional protection under Article 265 and 300, preventing unauthorized deprivation of property, and it says that whatever the Kerala GST department has done is incorrect. So let us see what is the final judgment and directions. Return of cash. The income tax department, the court has given these directions. The income tax department must return the cash 10,58,000 plus 29 lakhs, which they had recovered from the GST department back to the taxpayer. GST proceedings will continue. Okay, I have not complied with the GST law, तो GST department अपना एक्शन ले सकता है, एडजुडिकेशन होगा, उसका जो प्रोसेस है वो नॉर्मल प्रोसेस उस तरीके से चलेगा. Income tax proceedings, yes, the income tax department can continue with the proceedings under section 132A, but cannot treat the initial seizure as valid. And the court has specifically criticized the GST department disregard for the past precedents of the Supreme Court order saying that whatever action is being done by you, it's not proper, and the department has to take care of the cognizance of this. So this is a very good judgment, and I think most of the jewelers, I have seen that uh, there are so many investigations, or there are so many raids, or there are so many approaches by the GST department or the income tax department. If you are aware of these provisions, I can definitely, this can help you at what exactly and how you should proceed. At least if you are aware of the basic provisions, even the department will be soft on your side. Whatever the legal proceedings are going to happen, that is going to happen. We cannot stop it. So this is a comparative chart which I have prepared. Can a jewelry be seized under the income tax law? The answer is no. Under GST, the answer is yes. So this, if you want, you can take a screenshot of this, and this can help you if there is some investigation proceedings on your side. So I think as far as this Caesar provisions are concerned or the case laws are concerned, I'm done. If you have any question on this topic, you may put in the chat box and I can reply. Then we can go to the interesting topic of watches and watch straps. So if there are any questions, I'll just give 5 to 10 minutes and you can please come up with the questions. Chat box, Ninad, if you can open the chat box and we can ask.
In case if somebody wants to ask, they can raise their hand also.
You can open the chat box.
Should be fine.
Yeah, so another 2 minutes we'll wait in case somebody wants to ask any question or any doubts if they have, they can raise their hand also, because these provisions, according to me, must be known to everybody now, and everyone is this thing. And what clarification you have given on the seizure of cash is very, very good and very, very important. I think this can safeguard a lot of torture by the GST department to a lot of jewelers who are getting investigated for some reason or the other.
Correct. So normally, Avinash, what happens is when an officer comes, he says that if I don't get anything under the income tax, I will inform to the GST, or vice versa. Even the GST officer says, okay, if you're compliant with GST, but I will inform the income tax department or something of that sort. So at that time, if you're aware of these provisions, that can really help us.
Very true. So anybody has any doubts? Looks like everyone is clear, so we can move forward.
Done, sir.
One second, अशोक जैन जी ने हाथ उठाया है, 1 मिनट. Ashok bhai.
Yeah. Yeah. Good afternoon to everybody.
Good
हेलो.
afternoon, Ashok.
या
Good
गुड
afternoon,
आफ्टरनून.
Ashok bhai.
या भावित भाई, एक थोड़ा डाउट है. जैसे आपने बोला है कि जीएसटी डिपार्टमेंट ने वो कैश को जाके ट्रेजरी में डिपॉजिट करा दिया, फिर आके इनकम टैक्स को इत्तला किया. लेकिन
Correct.
ऐसा भी तो हो सकता है ना, जीएसटी डिपार्टमेंट ही इनकम टैक्स को इत्तला करके वहां जगह पे बुला लेते हैं, फिर आईटी वाले सीज करके जाते हैं. तो देन इट इज राइट, नो?
Then it is right. Then it is right.
या.
यहाँ तो उन्होंने क्या किया, उन्होंने सीज करके ट्रेजरी में जमा कर दिया, which was incorrect. तो
या
फिर उन्होंने
समझ.
someone raised a point that this is not allowed. तो उन्होंने फिर इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट को इन्फॉर्म करके वहां से वो पैसा इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट को ट्रांसफर कर दिया.
समझ गया, समझ गया. ओके,
So
थैंक यू
as
सर,
what you
थैंक
said, that is right कि they can
यू.
call and they can just मतलब वो लोग नोटिंग कर सकते हैं लेकिन सीज नहीं कर सकते हैं.
हाँ, समझ गया, समझ गया. थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू भाविक भाई.
Yes.
Okay, now, friends, I think we move to the next topic, which is very important. Okay, if someone has
One
raised a
second.
hand,
There is one more. There is one more. Muthu Swami
yeah,
sir.
Aji, please, please. Muthu sir, you have to unmute.
Yeah, yeah. Sir, good afternoon to everyone, sir. Bhavin, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
See, you have
Good
told that if it is a business stock, the income tax cannot seize the jewelry or something, what is there.
Correct, correct.
Whether they can put a PO for that?
So they can give a noting, they can prepare an inventory of that, and they can keep that. Okay, this is the unaccounted stock which is being found. So
Ah.
you have to consider this in future. You have to consider that as a part of your stock in trade.
So that we will try to prove that this is in stock in trade. But at the time of investigation, the search, they
Ah,
can put a PO and keep the stock within the premises and they can do that process.
correct, correct. So they can keep within your premises, they cannot take it out.
They can seal it in the locker or somewhere. They can put it there and with the seal,
So that
everything.
is the normal process which they do. Yes.
That is also a type of seizure, no? It is not a seizure.
In Caesar means I would say that I would take a possession of that jewelry or something of that. So here that jewelry will lie with, they only will do a noting that so many kgs of gold was unaccounted. That noting they will be doing at that end.
Okay, okay.
And you have
Then,
to take that into your stock in trade and you have to account for those unaccounted stock.
so till the proof of that requirement, the goods will not be released and it will affect the our regular stream of business.
Sir, but then once it is unaccounted and you take it in your stock in trade, sir, then the matter gets over, sir.
So actually, where it happens, no, we will put the
Ah,
gross and net. There will be a
ah,
huge difference because in nowadays there is more than 10%, 8%, 6% is there. So if there
ah.
is 100 kilos of stock, there may be 8 kilos, 10 kilos of difference will be there. At that time, they are not ready to accept the gross and net. So at that time, if you argue on all these things, immediately what they will do, they will put a PO in the office and they will go to the office and after getting the till the date of appraisal report, they will drag the issue. They won't try to release the PO. So it affects the regular stream of business. In that situation, how can they say that it is unaccounted?
See, sir, what you are trying to say is there is a difference between gross weight and net weight, right?
Yes, yes.
There would be some evidence which says that the gross weight and the net weight tallies with the documents which are lying in your premises. You might be accounting somewhere that this is the net weight or this is the gross weight, and if you can prove that, then they will not do it.
Sir, if the method of maintaining gross and net in my books, it is okay. If it is not there,
Uh,
blindly they can find out what is the percentage of gold content in that. So how can they take grantedly the non gold items as a gold
no, no,
or as a
Muthu
stock?
sir, Muthu sir, I think we are
It is not correct, no.
no, no, Muthu sir, I think we are deviating from the subject. What you are saying is there is a difference between gross weight and net weight. What I am
Yes.
trying to say is that if you purchase or if you manufacture or if you procure from somewhere any jewelry or any gold item, there would
Uh,
be gross weight and net weight on that document. You account in your books the gross weight and net weight. I am saying that the documents itself will prove that this is my net weight and this is my gross weight.
yeah, that is. If, I am telling if it is not there. We
If it
got
is not,
blindly, we
then
got a stock of 10
sir,
kilos.
sir,
Uh,
then you have to prove it. Now, the onus is always on the jeweler to prove that what
uh,
you are saying is right. If you say that there is a difference and the department starts weighing the jewelry and he
uh,
finds a difference of 8 kgs, then they
uh,
have all the right to seize the jewelry, no, sir?
uh.
So they will not seize it, but they will say, yes, there is a difference in the unaccounted
The
stock.
dispute will be there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Then
Definitely. Definitely.
till the proving the genuineness of our side, the PO will not
Correct.
be released.
So better we maintain
Okay.
the stock in a proper manner. That was the
Proper
right side
manner,
of the
yeah.
office. Then
That's correct, sir. Sir, and one more, sir. The GST, now we got GST territorial, state GST territorial, state GST intelligence, and central GST preventive, and DGGI, Director General GST
correct.
intelligence. See, the state
Correct.
also coming to the same premises for the search, and also the central
Ah,
also coming. So we need,
ah,
because all the state, our
ah,
chairman, everyone are there. We have to
ah.
give a representation that if the central have gone there, the state need
Ah.
not to go there.
No, no, sir, there are so many judgments on this, and even it is written in the act also.
Ah,
When there, for a particular financial year or for a particular period, if the
ah,
investigation has been conducted by the central GST department, then on
ah.
the same financial year and on the same point, the state GST department cannot do the
Thinking.
investigation.
Yes, yes.
That is very clear. There are many case laws on that. So I think initially there was an issue, but after those judgments and after that clarity or maybe the circular issued by the government, now now they have now they have discontinued, sir. So if you want, we can share you the case laws as well as the circular, which you can show to the GST department. So once you show, because that circulars are binding on the department, so they will not come to your place.
Uh, Kailash Charanji is there. He has some question. So Kailash bhai, पूछिए आप. Yes, sir.
Vinayji,
Yeah,
now you can see, hear me?
yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, sir, Mr. Bhavin,
Tell me.
earlier they used to see, or used to put PO on the stock in
Correct.
our premises only in some of the room. But nowadays, I think what they are doing, because they know that jeweler or somebody is not going to do anywhere, they will do the estimate of tax
Uh-huh.
and they will allow you to use the stock because they cannot stop selling the goods actually.
Perfect. Perfect. So that is what I was saying to Muthuji. Barabar.
Mr. Muthu or Avinash,
Yes, sir.
earlier the system was they would have carried the gold also in their boxes with the seal. But nowadays they are not stopping your sale because they know if they stop the sale, they'll lose the tax.
Correct.
So now they know that jeweler is not going to go anywhere. So they will first estimate some of the your excess gold and all that, and they will come to the figure on the spot like FIR, first information report. They will do some estimate, then they'll call to the office, then they'll reassess everything, then they'll come to the correct figure.
Yes, sir.
And they'll give you, if they found some cash or something, or if they found some money in the bank, so they'll request you, sir, why don't you pay the tax immediately? So and so money you have. If you don't have, then they'll start bargaining. In so much time you have to pay the tax. They'll give you time also. Is that correct, Mr. Bhavin?
That depends, sir, from the officer to officer. There is no straight guideline for that. कि वो क्या है करके. But yes, what you are saying is true. और ऐसे से हो रहा है करके.
Correct.
Friends, I think we can move to the next important topic because I'm receiving messages that there are many people from the south who has joined specifically for this topic of watch tracking and watch plans. If there are some questions on this, what you can Seizure, we can take it later on. Let's move to the important topic. Avinash, we can go ahead, right?
Yeah, please go ahead, sir.
Right. So, friends, let us go to this, that what exactly is the controversy as regards the watch and the watch strap is concerned. So the jewelers position, the jewelers are saying that whatever the watches we are selling along with the watch straps or the bracelets, they classify under 71. So they are saying that it is nothing but a jewelry and the rate of GST should be 3%. With the prices of gold going up, I definitely understand that there is a big difference between 3% and 18%, what they are trying to say. Tax authorities are saying that the rate of GST should be 18% because it will fall under Chapter 91 which is nothing. We have a specific chapter for watches and parts of watches, and that will fall under chapter 91. And so the rate of GST should be 18% and not 3%. The argument is there is a rate difference of 15%, which is a huge amount. And that is the reason that there is, if your people are receiving notices for the last 5 years or something, the amount is huge and it's a big hit to the pocket. So friends, let us try to understand that what exactly is the situation. We
भाविन
have
भाई
some
थोड़ा आवाज.
done, sir, done. Sorry. So let us try to understand that what is the legal position and what are the current industry practices. सच में क्या हो रहा है? What are the jewelers following today? So the jewelers across India, they have adopted different approaches कि उसको कैसे हम लोग billing करें to the customer. The first thing is they are saying that this is a composite supply. Entire watch, which precious metal, they are saying that it should be taxed at 3%, saying that gold का value ज्यादा है, gold का component ज्यादा है, and so it is a principal supply, and hence the rate which is applicable to the gold, that should be applicable even to the gold watch and the gold strap. So I'm repeating, they are saying that this is a composite supply. I am selling a watch along with a gold bracelet. Just because the value of gold is high, I will be charging. It is supposed to be a composite supply where the principal supply is supply of gold. Rate of GST on gold is 3%, and hence on the entire watch along with the watch strap, I will be charging 3%. This is the first scenario. The second scenario is they are splitting the entire watch into two parts. They are saying that watch dial will be chargeable at 18% under Chapter 91, and the bracelet of gold will fall under Chapter 71, and I will charge 3%. एक ही invoice में they are having two separate line items. On the first, they write watch dial, some 4,000, 5,000 rupees, on which they charge 18%. And immediately on the next line, they write 18 karat or 22 karat gold bracelet or gold strap, on which they are charging 3%. Scenario number three. Some jewelers were even smart enough. They say that why we put and we invite controversy, why we write on the same invoice. So they started splitting the invoices and giving two invoices to the customer, one for watch dial and other for the gold bracelet. On the watch dial, they were charging 80%, and on the bracelet or the watch strap, they were charging 3%. So I think everyone is understanding that what is happening. There were three different scenarios. One was the composite supply. The other was they were in the same invoice, they were having two separate line items. The last was they were having two separate bills, showing if there are two separate transactions. But what really happened is classification, we need to understand that where do we legally stand? That watch strap and watch bands, they will fall under 9113. The HSN classification under the harmonized system, or maybe the HSN as per the WCO, it says that watch straps will fall under chapter 91 and not under chapter 71. The tax implication, because of this, many jewelers they charge 3% instead of 18%, leading to a big difference of 15%. I saw many opinions. I spoke to many people, even in Maharashtra, even in South India, and maybe some places of North in Delhi. And what I understood is people told that when a customer comes to a jeweler, he is coming to buy a jewelry. He is not coming to buy a watch. अगर उसको वॉच खरीदना था तो टाइटन के शोरूम में जाता था. He would have gone to some other showroom which is only specific for the purpose of watches. Sir, why would we come to a jeweler? He would come to a jeweler because he wants to buy something in relation to jewelry where the dial is nothing but part of the jewelry. जैसे कि मैं एक ब्रेसलेट बनाता हूँ उसमें कुंदन डाल देता हूँ तो वो कुंदन का हो जाता है, या डायमंड डालता हूँ तो डायमंड ब्रेसलेट होता है. वैसे ही मैंने एक डायल डाल दिया, आई एडेड अ डायल एंड इट बिकम अ टाइम पीस. So the intention was to buy a jewelry and not a timepiece. But just because the jeweler told me that we have one unique design where you can buy or you can use this interchangeably, you can use this as a gold bracelet also, and you can use this as watch also or a timepiece also. So, sir, what can I do? I have gone to buy a jewelry. I have not gone to buy a watch. This was the argument which was being going on, and people started doing this that why don't we charge 3%? Nobody's sir ready to willing to give me 18% at this scenario. So 3%, sir, haste customer is willing to pay, and I think we can manage that. 3% is still manageable. 18% is out of the question, sir. There are many people who spoke on chapter 71, but they are not speaking on chapter 91, which is equally important. Let us try to understand what 91 says. Now, 91 says that heading 9113, it says that clocks, watches, and parts thereof. एक specific entry है वहां पे clocks, watches, and parts thereof explicitly titled watch straps, watch bands, and watch bracelets and parts thereof. मैं repeat करता हूँ 9113 chapter 91 में there is a sub classification 9113 which says that watch straps, watch bands, and watch bracelets and parts thereof are covered under 91. It covers all materials, whether it is of textile, plastic, or maybe leather, or of precious metal. Everything is covered. GST का हिस्ट्री क्या है? Initially, the rate of tax was 28%, which from 15th of November they have reduced to 18%. Recently, in 19th October 2024, there was a group of ministers who make a suggestion. उन्होंने suggestion दिया था GST Council को, if you are having a wristwatch about 25,000, if you are selling a wristwatch about 25,000, the rate of GST should be increased from 18 to 28%. जब GST आया था तब उसमें रेट 28% था, which from 15th November they reduced to 18%. Again, the group of ministers in October 2024, they have recommended to the GST Council that this rate should be again increased to 28% for watches about 25,000 rupees. They have given even for what you can say the leather goods or maybe the what you can say the footwear and all other items also. But wristwatch was one of the example which they had given that if it is above 25,000, the rate should be 28%. हालांकि ये अभी नहीं हुआ है. This is some of the proposals, but all I'm trying to say is 3% was never thought of. At all times, it is somewhere roaming around 18 and 28%. Now, let us understand that what that 9113 says. When we go to 9113, 1000, it says that watch straps of precious metal or metal clad with precious metal, 18% is the rate of GST, regardless of the material value. मतलब कोई भी मटेरियल रहेगा, whether it is of precious metal or some other material, watch straps रहेगा तो 18% है. If you go to the next thing, watch straps of base metal, but if there is a gold or silver plating, then also there is 18%, which falls under 9113 20102020 something. Lastly, it says that watch straps of other material, maybe leather, plastic, or something, there also the rate is 18%. In short, any watch strap, band, or bracelet identifiable for use as a watch, it is classified under 9113 and the rate of GST is 18%. So I'm repeating, you might be selling a gold bracelet. I totally buy your idea. But the moment it becomes a part of a watch or an accessory of a watch, it will be covered under Chapter 91 and the rate of GST would be 18%. I have received some few notices also from some people saying that you please fight it out for me. I am drafting the reply to that show cause notices. But friends, if you want to avoid litigation, from the council side, I would really say, if you want to avoid litigation, please don't go for that rate of 3%. Legal framework analysis, let us summarize at what we are trying to say. We went to chapter 71. There is a note 3L, which says that chapter 71 explicitly excludes articles of chapter 90, 91 from precious metal classification. उसका मतलब ये है, अगर आपको ज्वेलरी के इसमें जाना है तो चैप्टर 71 बोल रहा है, अगर आपका आर्टिकल चैप्टर 91 का है तो वो 71 में नहीं आएगा. Chapter 71 again has a note number 9, which says that articles of jewelry will include bracelets and watch chains. Well, there was a very big argument that what is it, watch chain and watch strap. Watch chain is nothing but if you remember that Gandhi ji was keeping a pocket watch, watch रहता था और watch pocket के अंदर होता था. When he wants to see the time, they used to pull the chain और जो watch होता था pocket से बाहर आता था and they used to see the watch. That is a watch chain. But the bracelet is an entire different thing or a band which is used only for the purpose of wrist watches and not in the case of say pocket watches. तो चैप्टर 91 71 में तो हम लोगों ने देख लिया दैट 91 इज नॉट इंक्लूडेड इफ इट इज कवर्ड इवन सेज दैट ओनली वॉच चेन्स आर इंक्लूडेड but only if it is not a part of watch mechanism. 91 says that excludes only watch chains from chapter 91 but not watch straps and watch band. वॉच चेन इंक्लूड एक्सक्लूड किया है लेकिन वॉच स्ट्रैप्स और बैंड है वो 91 में इंक्लूडेड है. तो 9113 specifically covers watch straps, bands, and bracelets. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? Let us see even the general rules of interpretation जिसके ऊपर से HSN classification बनता है. How the HSN classification is being made in the WC or the World Customs Organization. For interpreting that, we have the general rules of interpretation. GR1 says that heading terms and note. Classification is determined according to the terms of heading and any relevant section or chapter notes. The terms of heading 9113 covers watch strap or bands outrightly, and the chapter notes direct that watch parts belonged in chapter 91 and not 71. This is the GR1. Then we go further. The general rules of interpretation 3A, जहाँ पे specific versus general के ऊपर argument है. So the watch strap or band is far more specific to the products used and the articles of precious metal. If you have a specific classification saying that watch strap or band, फिर भी अगर आप उसको बोलो कि articles of jewelry है, so that would be a bit incorrect. Essential character. Now it was something like in 3B which they have given. Even on the essential character front, the strap's identity is tied to its function as a watch accessory or parts of watch, and it is not merely an ornament. And so we would say that again, as per this rule also, it will fall under chapter 91. So legal precedents, now some people were saying that we have that advance ruling of the House of Marigold case, which is against the jeweler. Now, in case of House of Marigold, the Gujarat High Advance Ruling Authority specifically says that gold watch bracelet should be taxed as jewelry. They have rejected the claim. Sorry, they have not accepted, but they have rejected that gold watch bracelet. We cannot accept this and it should not be taxed at 3%. The ruling said that Chapter 71, Note 9 and 3L of Chapter 91, objects containing a watch movement are not jewelry and they are covered under Chapter 91, and so the rate of GST should be 18% and not 3%. The Appellate Authority, the Gujarat Appellate Advance Ruling Authority, again they upheld the decision of the Gujarat Advance Ruling Authority and they said that it is right. The rate of GST should be 18%, considering this as under Chapter 91. The Titan Industries case, in this case, they have specifically said that the Titan post pre-GST, the rulings at the Gujarat High Court in state of Gujarat versus the Titan Industries are not applicable in the GST era. In the pre-GST era, the VAT regime, there was a case where there was a Titan Industries filed for the Nebula 18 karat solid gold watches, saying that this will be a part of jewelry and not falling under the residuary entry. But in the literature also, they are specifically written Nebula 18 karat solid gold watches by Titan. The conclusion, this is important, friends. The right rate of GST is 18%. The right classification would be Chapter 91. Incorrect rate is 3%. Based on what we have solved, the proper classification, the GR, what you can say, the general rules of interpretation, and the HSN code, we would conclude saying that the right rate should be 18%, falling under Chapter 91 and not 3%. So friends, this is something what we had to speak about the watches. If there are any questions, the forum is open and you can please.
Pavin bhai,
Yes,
I just want to ask one or two questions before I open for everyone.
huh,
As you said, can you just go back to note 9 of chapter 71?
we can do. Yeah, perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh,
Defines articles of jewelry to include bracelets and watch chains,
correct.
but only if not part of watch mechanism.
Perfect.
So that means if a jeweler is selling it as a bracelet,
Correct.
it is going to be charged at 3%.
Correct.
In case if he is attaching that bracelet along with the watch and selling it, it
Hmm,
becomes a watch.
correct.
Am I right?
Right.
So if somebody is selling that as a watch strap,
Huh,
he has to pay 18%. If
per-
he is selling that as a bracelet, it is 3% only.
Yes, but if that bracelet, if you can attach a timepiece to or a dial to it, then it will become an accessory of a watch.
Okay. So you mean to say any bracelet which
Huh,
has a clipping system which can be attached to a watch, that
correct.
falls under 91.
Correct. So there were some arguments from the people in, especially I was speaking to someone in Chennai, and they told me, that, sir, we prepare a bracelet, and that bracelet can be interchangeably used. You can use wear it without a dial, and it is very good. It can be used as a jewelry. And if I want to go to some other function, and if I just add a dial to it, it becomes a watch. So my argument was, when you prepare a bracelet, that clipping would be keeping in mind the dial. It cannot be that the bracelet can be used, it is universal and you can attach any dial to it. So obviously, if you are preparing a bracelet, keeping in mind that someday that lady will even attach a timepiece or a dial to it, that means it is nothing but a part of watch or a watch accessory right from day one. I think Avinash ji, आप समझ गए मैं क्या बोलना
Yeah,
चाह रहा
yeah,
हूँ
I
यहाँ पे.
got your point. I got your
हाँ,
point. Now, I asked this question because Dagnam Ramesh sir has also asked in chat, and
correct, correct.
Sabi sir has raised his hand. So I just wanted to talk on that. Then now the floor is open. You can do anything.
Um,
हाँ नितिन
Bhavin
भाई,
bhai,
बोलिए
Bhavin
बोलिए
bhai,
बोलिए. हाँ जी.
like in the diamond, if diamond is a 5 lakhs rupees worth and the gold is a worth of 25,000, diamond is
Correct,
having the 1.5% GST and the gold is having 3% and including diamond jewelry is like a 3% GST, right?
correct, correct, correct.
If I am selling a watch of
हाँ,
gold, saying it is a maybe it is a watch design, it is a bracelet or
correct,
it's a time belt, whatever it may be. And
correct.
I am selling the watch as a mechanism or machine, and I am
हाँ,
charging 20, 18 or 25%. Specifically, bill is containing the gold part, gold bracelet is of the 10 gram worth of 1 lakh rupees, labor charges this and this, and the watch price is 2,000 rupees, and I'm giving the bill like 2,000 rupees, attracting 18% GST, and 10 gram gold charging a 3% GST. In that
perfect,
case,
perfect.
where I'm wrong?
Correct. नहीं, एकदम valid point है. I think even this was the argument which the people from the south they asked me, कि the
Hmm.
gold content more and the principal supply is of gold and not of the watch. Watch is only of 3,000 or 4,000 rupees. तो
Right?
यहाँ पे we have circular which is being issued by the department in 2018, circular number 38, which says that
Hmm.
value cannot be the only guiding factor. वैल्यू जो होता है, जैसे कि यू आर सेइंग कि द गोल्ड का वैल्यू ज्यादा है, हियर आई एम कमिंग टू बाय अ ज्वेलरी, बट वैल्यू कैनॉट बी द ओनली गाइडिंग फैक्टर. जो मैं अविनाश जी को अभी बता रहा था,
No,
आपने
I'm not
गोल्ड.
talking about a value. I'm not predominant value. Or I'm not talking that. I am
हाँ,
selling watch as a material separate 2,000 rupees and 1
तो सर
lakh
वॉच
rupees
का,
worth of the gold. But
सर
I'm
वॉच
not
का,
telling the watch. See,
नहीं नहीं
bracelet
सर,
can be any design. It's a crocodile
नहीं
design
नहीं
or
नहीं
it may
सर,
be monkey design.
नहीं गॉट इट सर. इन दैट केस वॉच हैज बीन स्पेसिफिकली क्लासिफाइड अंडर चैप्टर 91, कि अगर वो प्रेशियस मेटल का या गोल्ड का बना रहेगा, वो 91 में ही आएगा. वो पहले से लिख के दिया उन्होंने डे वन से, कि उसके ऊपर डायमंड लगा है, सिल्वर है या गोल्ड प्लेटेड है, वो कंपलसरी वो चैप्टर 91 में ही फॉलो होगा।
मतलब इसमें डिजाइन में रिस्ट्रिक्शंस हो गए, मैं वॉच डिजाइन का ब्रेसलेट नहीं बेच सकता हूँ?
वॉच डिजाइन का
Sabrina, mute yourself.
Known at all, and almost many people have done this under chapter 7.1 only. When we do job work also, see, we are manufacturing wash straps also. Then how about that area? When we manufacture wash straps, what is the making charge of GST for
So
that
in
making
that
charge?
case, the making charges, if it does not fall under chapter 71, then the rate of GST would be 12% and not 5%.
Okay, so for wash strap alone, we have to charge 12% for making charge.
Uh, there are some people in Maharashtra also who have received the notice. There are some people in Delhi who have received these notices for watches, and they are very big players who have been doing this. They are selling watches in so many years along with jewelry.
Yes.
So we
And
are
they have
now
taken it from 2017 itself. So
correct,
all
correct,
the 5, 6
correct,
years they have taken the data and they are issuing the
correct.
notice for a huge amount.
So, so we were discussing internally in the council with Avinash ji and Rajesh ji also. There is one provision which in the last budget the government has introduced, section 11A, which is called the provision for as is varies basis. So it says that if in the entire trade people have been following one practice, so maybe till today, okay, whatever they have charged, where they have charged 3%, that is okay. Henceforth, you come out with the clarification, and if you say we are going to charge 18%, so you take that rate from today, but for the previous period, at least you give some relief.
Yeah,
That is
that will
what
be
we have been
better. That will be
thinking.
always
Yeah.
a big relief
So
for
we
us. So
we
right
we are
from
going to make a representation from GJC to the Ministry of Finance.
April 1st, 2025, then we can charge 12% or whatever you tell.
Done, sir. Done.
Before that, I
Noted.
think we should get a relief for all the wash straps done. And like
Mm.
Nitin Bhai told, we used to sell only as watch straps. No dials are there. Then what will be the effect?
So, as you say that if you're selling only straps or only bracelet, my
Bracelet.
argument is, my argument is,
Hmm.
if a lady puts a dial on it, right from the day one, see, she cannot put any dial. She can
Correct.
put only that dial which is in relation to that strap. Otherwise, you cannot have a universal gold belt or a gold strap saying that any dial can fit to this. So the moment it
Okay.
becomes that, it is very clear that right from day one, it is nothing but a part of a particular watch or an accessory of a watch.
Okay, so the pin is the matter. If the dial, I mean the
Correct.
bracelet is with a pin which can be suitable for a dial, then it should be a watch strap only. It comes under 9.1.
Perfect. 91. Yes.
Okay.
Uh, can you just name
So
Just
yourself?
Dhavanam,
iPhone. Who is this?
the, before that, I think Dhavanam ji is asking, can we go for appeal?
appeal.
If the amount is big, you may go for an appeal. Dhavanam ji, I would say, not from a legal side, from a practical side, I would say that every 5 to 6 years you have an amnesty coming in. So if you are lucky and you fight out the case, you get an amnesty, or maybe, as I was discussing with Mr. Shabri, that if we have section 11A coming into the play, then it will be a big relief for you and you should go for an appeal. This is not a legal answer, this is a practical answer, sir. From iPhone, you
There
can
are
answer.
two more people who have iPhone. Who is this? Can you just identify
मदन
yourself?
मदन बोल रहा हूँ मदन बोल रहा हूँ सर
हाँ मदन भाई बोलिए।
अविनाश
चलिए
जी मदन बोल रहा हूँ
मदन भाई आपका नाम चेंज कर दिया करो, बेटर हो
अरे
जाता।
यार वो ठीक है मैं हो जाता है वापस अगेन आ
Prince
जाता
sir,
है
just wait for some time. Madan Kothari is speaking and then you will come. Yeah.
सर ये जो ब्रेसलेट और घड़ी की जो बात है वो
हाँ
2008 में मेरे पास 2007 या 8 में मेरे पास रेड हुई थी
हाँ
कुछ नहीं मिला था उसने मेरे पास वो घड़िया उस समय हम लोग और उसके ब्रेसलेट डाल के डालते थे अपने कार्टियर ब्रेसलेट घड़ी के अंदर डाल के हम लोग उसमें बहुत चलता था उसके अंदर उसने मुझे इतना परेशान किया कि फिर वो नहीं करूं तो दूसरा निकालता था फिर मैंने छोड़ के जो भी उससे सेटलमेंट किया और उस दिन से मैंने घड़ी बेचना बंद कर दिया था लेकिन ये फैक्ट है कि उन्होंने उनका एक ही कहना है वो घड़ी है आप घड़ी देख रहे हो तो 18% लगता ही है
सही बात है मदन भाई यू
ये
आर
मैंने
एब्सोल्युटली राइट
ये मैंने मेरे खुद के यहाँ बहुत बड़ी रेड हुई थी जिसके अंदर बहुत परेशान किया था जिस 2007-8 की बात कर रहा हूँ मैं और उसके बाद मैंने घड़ी बेचना छोड़ दिया
Right,
सच्ची
Madan bhai. Yeah, Prince Jewelry, please. ठीक है मदन
इसका
भाई.
इसका इसका मतलब ये लोग होते हैं कि आपको परेशान करेंगे यदि कुछ नहीं मिला ना तो वो परेशान, उसकी वजह से फिर आपको बोलेंगे हम और परेशान करेंगे। उनको कुछ नहीं मिलेगा तो इनके लिए एक बहाना बहुत बड़ा।
Prince Jewelry.
Yeah, Prince sir, please.
Yeah, Varun sir,
Yeah, tell me.
if we go go and file an appeal, whether these 3 points will help us in our favor. Like one thing is scrap is hallmark, like any other jewelry, it is hallmark. So
Okay,
hallmark, it is a jewelry. It's not
correct,
classified under 71. Number one. Number two is the price of the strap is also fluctuate according to the metal rate on daily basis. Unlike
okay,
unlike a belt of leather net belt or any other metal.
correct,
Number three is it is also buyback thing is also there. Again,
correct,
based on the price of that day when it is bought back. So all these three things make this step as a jewelry. Don't you think, sir?
okay. Point noted, sir. So all these 3 points which we have taken, that hallmarking or maybe the price of the gold and the buyback policy, this can all be the ancillary arguments, sir. So at least at the initial level, maybe the first appellate authority level, sir, it is very difficult to win. Going down the line, maybe at the tribunal or the high court level, that is something which you can get some justice, or maybe if you write to the ministry or if they come out with some clarification as I told under section 11A, that can really help you. But as of now, sir, these are all weak arguments, or I would say these are all ancillary arguments. These are not the core or the main arguments.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Prakash bhai.
गुड आफ्टरनून सर, गुड आफ्टरनून
Good
एवरीवन,
afternoon.
गुड आफ्टरनून सर। भाविन जी, मेरा क्वेश्चन यही था कि
हाँ।
जैसे कि हम लोग अभी आप वॉचेस पे बोल रहे हो, उसी तरह
हाँ
हम
जी।
लोग ग्लास बेचते हैं, ये
Correct.
फ्रेम्स ग्लासेस होती है,
Spectacles,
स्पेक्टिकल्स, या स्पेक्टिकल्स में भी यही प्रॉब्लम है। और
बिल्कुल
दूसरा
सर।
जो हम लोग मेंस की एसेसरीज बेच रहे हैं, मेंस की
हाँ।
भी काफी एसेसरीज है अपने पास, जिसको हम लोग लाइफस्टाइल प्रोडक्ट करके बेच रहे हैं।
नहीं,
उसके अंदर
मेंस की जो सर एक्सेसरीज है ना, if it
हम्म,
is for the purpose of adornment, see watches is a different, because watches में different separate classification है। लेकिन अगर
Okay.
मान लो मेंस का आपने कोई एक्सेसरी जैसे कि कपलिंग्स बेचा, या मे बी मान लो कोई ब्रोच वगैरह बेचा, तो दैट इज स्पेसिफिकली अंडर 7114, वो उसमें कवर्ड है, उसके ऊपर 3% आया है।
ओके। और
लेकिन
ये
अगर मान लो
ग्लास फ्रेम्स के अंदर क्या है
हाँ,
इसका?
जो स्पेक्टेकल्स का चैप्टर वो 90 में कवर होता है, उसका सेपरेट क्लासिफिकेशन है, उसका अलग से आएगा।
तो वो अपना 18% में आ रहा है वो भी?
हाँ, वो 18% मेरे को एग्जैक्टली रेट देखना पड़ेगा, बट यस आई थिंक इट इज 18%। मैं चेक करके बता दूंगा आपको।
श्योर, थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू, थैंक यू। राइट सर।
बिकॉज यू अंडरस्टैंड, फाउंटेन पेन्स, वॉचेस,
हाँ, पेन्स,
और
या
फाउंटेन पेन्स, वॉचेस, और ये जो अपना क्या बोलते हैं स्पेक्टेकल्स, ये तीनों को हॉलमार्किंग में उन्होंने एग्जाम्प्ट किया हुआ है। अब जो हॉलमार्किंग का ये जो नोटिफिकेशन भी देखोगे, दिस 3 थिंग्स आर स्पेसिफिकली एक्सक्लूडेड फ्रॉम दैट। वॉचेस, स्पेक्टेकल्स, और अपना ये जो आपने बताया वो हिसाब से 3 चीज एग्जाम्प्ट है, फाउंटेन पेन्स।
यस, ओके।
मितेश मितेश वीपीजे से जितेंद्र भाई कुछ बोलना चाह रहे हैं शायद।
हाँ जी।
अनम्यूट करो जितेंद्र भाई को।
Hello everyone, Bhavin bhai. I had, in fact, we have paid the GST for all the years that we have sold straps. We paid the
Correct.
difference of 15% plus the penalty also. But you're very right. When we say a strap, it attracts 18%. So if we mention watch strap in our description of the jewelry, then it is at 18%. But if you say it's a bracelet, and then you do the attachment to the watch later on, then the officer said, then we cannot call it a watch strap. It is some modification that the customer has requested you to do. You charge some repair charges for that, and you can bill it. So in case you have a watch at your counter, and if you have an item which is a bracelet, and the customer asks you to add the bracelet to the watch, you got to bill the watch at 18% and bill the bracelet at 3%. They have to be different invoices. And you have to have a third invoice for a repair invoice showing that you have modified the bracelet to fix to the watch.
So this is precisely what I'm taking as an argument in the one of the reply which I'm preparing. But even here there is a catch, sir. Let us take an example that I sold a bracelet to you. You are selling a bracelet to me. It's a gold bracelet. At that time, it is a pure gold bracelet with no attachment for dial. 1 month down the line, I come to you and say that I want to modify this from gold bracelet to maybe say a watch strap or something of that scenario. So that would be something like a pure labor job which I'll be giving it to you, and then I will say that you just modify this to me. So only on that balance you will have to be charging the labor job, where the rate of GST would be somewhere 12% or something, and you can modify and give it back. So this is actually taking in one of
On
the
repair,
replies
it
which
is
I'm
18%, sir.
sorry.
On repair, it is 18%.
So I am saying it is repair, it is modification or alteration, sir. Yeah, it is 18%. Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Bhavin bhai,
हाँ जी,
I am
हाँ जी,
doing devil's advocacy based on
हाँ,
Jitendra bhai's input
हाँ,
for the general public.
हाँ.
See, a consumer can come to me, select a watch separately and a bracelet separately, and order me immediately to do the repair. So, what is wrong in it? Why should it be after a month or 3 days or 5 days or something like that? In that case.
Yeah. Avinash the officer was very clear. He said we need to make two separate invoices. One for the watch, which is at 18%, and one for the bracelet. You cannot call it a watch strap. In your description, it has to be called a bracelet. So in your bracelet, you bill it for 3%. And then you have to, if the customer has requested you to join the two, then you have to charge some repair charges for doing that. And that will be at 18%. So that is how we have to have three invoices.
Great. Perfect.
And also in our display, the watch should be kept separate and the bracelet should be kept separate. It should not be kept together. That's what they said.
And should not have that clips.
Yeah. Otherwise, it will be deemed a watch strap.
Correct, correct.
Fine. Urish ji.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. So we had this same problem many years ago. And unfortunately, all the dealers who are selling watches to us, none of them gives us a watch invoice. If you ask them for a watch invoice, nobody has one. And I had to go out in the market to get a watch invoice, inward invoice. So all these suppliers, nobody is actually giving us a invoice for the watch dial also.
So now you are getting, I think at that time I understand, but I think nowadays you get this watch dials, the invoices mill jata because
So
most of my
the people,
clients,
all the suppliers who are selling watches, are they providing invoices for watch dials? I don't think so.
At least in my clients, I have seen many of the people who are having these invoices of watch dials.
Okay. That's okay because I've seen that most of them don't have a invoice for the watch dial, inward invoices.
Okay. Anyone else?
There is one question again in the group. We make wristwatch belt of gold. What should we do for billing? It has to be 18%.
Correct.
Yeah. And your HSN should be 91 series, not the 71 series.
Correct.
Yeah. I think we have clarified, and in the invoice of gold watch, if we mention making charge in the invoice, do we need to charge 12% separately on the making charge?
No, that is not required. When you are selling a gold watch, then if you are charging 18%, why you need to have a separate labor charge of 12%? Unless and until if there is a separate labor invoice, then you charge 12%. But if you are selling a gold watch, the entire thing it is 18%.
भाविन भाई तो एक बार HSN 6 डिजिट एक बार दे दीजिए ना दबनम जी का क्वेश्चन है
91131000 just take on the screen. So 91131000 is for watch strap, the first one.
One more question is there any other gold items except watches can attract more than GST than 3%? भाविन भाई एक बार आप पूरा स्टडी करके other than what all are there which attracts higher GST, when it is included as accessory, just send a note. So we will circulate in the entire this thing.
Done, sir. Done.
Yeah, done, sir. I think most of the people are cleared with the doubts.
Yes.
Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. I think it was a fantastic. People were there because everyone has a lot of questions. There is one more. What if you are using titanium or other component in gold ornament? Does it attract the same GST?
Same, same. If he has a gold का metal है तो same होएगा.
Thank you everyone for joining in good numbers. I thank everyone and Bhavin Bhai especially for taking out his precious time in guiding the industry in the right way. And from here onwards, I think we will be doing good this thing. There is one question of Tuhin Dev. Just I will clarify. Can cash or jewelry be seized by income tax or GST officer? Jewelry can be seized by GST. Cash cannot be seized by GST. Cash can be seized by income tax. Jewelry cannot be seized by income tax. So I think, yeah, I think everyone is now aligned. Thank you very much. And in case if something is there, you can write to a mail or a WhatsApp to Mitesh in the GJC office, and he will connect you guys to Bhavin Bhai. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.